We should be live, recording from multiple microphones, but one of them is going to the stream. Let me check which one is it. Yeah, meant to be the better one. We have the audio from should have the audio from the machine. Yeah, that's working fine. And we have transcription going as well, because we're talking to multiple robots. One of them is down at the moment. One of them is down. Let me know if you like the background music. This one. Meant to have a melody to it as well, so still testing it. Well, actually, yeah, so ChatGPT is down. We might actually try using Claudette. We use that quite a bit. Whopping 28 chats. Should we start with the chats just to see how this project thing is working? So just let me chess project goal. Chess music generator. Okay, we can add content. I'm not sure which model we're meant to be using. Let's start because it was giving me timeouts for using the most intelligent model, for using the AGI. Let's try this one, which is the fastest for daily tasks. But shall we add a content first? I mean, this JetSpot is working more or less okay. Can I just pop in the whole folder? So we can add the drop files here to add to the chat. And we can add files to the project. Let's add files to the project. Okay, that failed. Okay, let's select multiple files. Okay, that worked. Okay, so folder didn't work, but the whole project did. So we have a bunch of files. Well, 5 to be precise. It's a couple of things that we could. Why is it 3% of knowledge capacity? Project knowledge is currently limited to Claude's maximum context window size, and it's not loading. Okay, so these files are 3% of knowledge capacity. Okay, that's good to know. Explain. Let's start with something simple. Right, so it okay, it's going. It is going. It's going places. Yeah, unfortunately we don't have we do not have a text-to-speech option in here. Very unfortunate, very disappointing. There is none on the phone app as well. There is a thing that you can talk to the thing that will just transcribe your voice, but then the responses are all text-based. Yeah, JavaScript manages music, interactive elements. Okay, so I'm not sure if it knows how the user interface looks like. It might pop in the user interface. Assume it will just wait. I'm not sure. Is this one adding the image into the project? Yeah, I'm not entirely sure how this works. Ooh, okay. The 3.5 Haiku doesn't support images. Okay, how did you switch to another model? I don't understand how it works. I seem to know what's what. How do I see? Ah, yeah, don't quite understand. Into the project knowledge, should we also include the image of the front panel? Not sure. I would say yes, just to help it out a bit. Yeah, pop that screenshot into the project folder. It's not loading it. Why? It doesn't like images or something. If this is the front panel, maybe it didn't like the name of the file or something. Files are not supported. Okay. Okay. We had the chat. This was able to explain what's what. It's a bit of a funny interface. Funny interface. Okay, so we have a specific problem with the application at the moment, is that when we actually running it, somehow the node duration ends up going down and down and down until it's 0. So it's fluctuating quite a bit, but then it's just going towards 0 and staying 0. So if we could look at the relevant code and explain why is that happening, that would be greatly appreciated. Yeah, it is fluctuating up and down, but it's trending downwards, whereas tempo is fluctuating properly, but no duration. It's just going down and down and down and down. Maybe it's not doing it anymore. Okay, I was pretty sure I was doing it before. It's doing it with a certain randomness level. Yeah, so when randomness is like 100%, yeah, anyway, it's hard to see or test what's going on. Hey, can we just test the code, particularly the JavaScript? There's something tested for any inconsistencies. That will be awesome. But also we would like to actually move on and with the melodies, if you can look at the melodies JSON file, how could we improve those? So I assume those are just random melody samples, but if we could somehow actually generate longer, more melodic melody examples in the JSON file, that will be great. If you can just explain how would you go about it without any code, that will be great. So not sure, yeah, just use the proper model. Yeah, it's closing all files. I mean, they're still there. Let me help analyze both issues. The no duration bug. No duration bug. Looking at the play loop function in the script, I can see why the duration is trending downwards. The issue is this section. The problem is that each time we update the UI with the new duration, this becomes a new base duration. Okay, for the next iteration, since it reads from the input element, since we are adding random value that's centered around minus 0.5 to 0.5, over time this will trend downwards. Okay, so it seems to know what it's talking about. What do you reckon? It's a compound effect. It fix this, not update the UI input value. Why not? Or store the original base duration separately. Yeah, I like the second option better. I like the second option better. We do want to update the UI to see what is actually being randomized. So we'll keep that as is, but yeah, we still like to fix the problem. So storing the original base duration separately and use that for calculations does make sense. Not entirely sure that will fix the problem, but happy to give it a go. Okay, now with the second thing, yeah, the melody. Yeah, if I could, yeah, the first suggestion sounds good. Could add the common jazz patterns. I don't know what that one is, but yeah, if it can be a longer progression with a common pattern, obviously not copyrighted or anything. More chromatic approaches and enclosures. Well, I'll need that to be explained. Not sure what that means. Add turnaround and classic jazz licks. Okay, it sounds good. How do we actually update the code? Incorporate rhythmic variety, eighth notes, triples, etc. Okay, that's all sounds good, but yeah, any more specific suggestions specific to the code we have would be nice. Yeah, longer phrases sounds good. Call and response pattern, you will have to explain to me what it is. Repeated motifs and the variations sounds amazing. Yeah, I'll need to explain some of those also in terms of I would like to be explained also in terms of the user interface that we have. So what the options are we giving the user option to select the melody or not, instead of selecting the scales, or are we having the same melodies can be played in different scales? That actually could be nice if we had the same melody and then an option to play it in major, minor, or blues. Maybe even add more scale options. So yeah, we eventually will need a description in the HTML of the whole web application, how to use, how the code is structured, general overview, things like that. But yeah, sounds like this project will be a continuous work in progress. Yeah, if you can comment without any code, that will be awesome. Not actually sure how it's gonna modify the code while it's generating. We can listen to some music. Yeah, I think currently we have a different melodies when we select a different scale, but the melodies are super short. It's this a JSON file that looks like this. Yeah, we just have the oh, and we're meant to have 3 instruments. Currently we only have 2. Yeah, last time we were discussing turning this into a 3 instrument generator. So currently we only have lead and second one. but we're thinking lead, harmony, and bass. And then you'll have the notes, the melody notes for each. But that's not yet implemented in the code. Okay, so it's recommending common jazz patterns. Progression is going like, okay, it's one of the most common chord progressions in jazz. Okay, we can happily try that. Could have these melody patterns in our UI. Sounds good. Chromatic approaching means approaching a target note by half steps. Okay. If there's any musicians in the audience, do chip in. By the way, in the overview on the HTML page, we do eventually want a description of how a synthetic music generator is relevant to neuroscience, because eventually we are thinking recording EEG and modifying the parameters of the jazz music or another music. Well, jazz is, I thought, would be easier to generate. You can comment on that if you like, but essentially the idea is that as we listen to the horrible music, hopefully we can make it better. Then as we adjust certain parameters, the brain response, the hypothesis is that the brain response will change as well. But yeah. So that's kind of where we are gearing towards. Okay, so it's making a lot of call and response. Okay, so this is like a musical conversation where two, I guess, instruments talking to one another, like mimicking. So that's another thing. So that's the perception that music creates. Obviously, they're not really talking to one another, but our brain is being tricked into thinking it is. So if you can comment on that, that could be a good example. For something we can look at the EEG response. My hypothesis will be that one of these parameters, if we actually implement them, will have a greater response on neural activity. Yes, making a lot of suggestions. Complexity level. Okay. Yeah, so yeah, if we can if you can make comments on what I just said and also start making suggestions as to how the code could actually be updated. Yeah, I'll need help integrating, but yeah, if you cannot generate any code in your response yet, that will be nice. And this video is brought to you by Claude 3.5 Sonnet, whichever way you pronounce it, I have no idea. Again, it's generating a lot of stuff. Choose style. Maybe we can have shorter responses. a connection between jazz music and neuroscience is fun. But yeah, of course, it's fascinating. When you hear call and response pattern in music, our brains engage in predictive processing. Okay, trying to anticipate how the response will mirror the contrast with the call. This could be particularly interesting for EEG studies. Yeah, well, yeah. To implement define paired melodic phrases, second instrument response could vary. Yeah, okay, those are great suggestions, but we just we actually have the current code up and running, so we'd like to be able to test it as we go. Just realize we also have an error. We have an error. We have an error. Let's actually pop it into another window. This is better, is it? So I don't have to switch back and forth. Yeah, so we have the web app actually running at the moment. So we need specific instructions as to how we update the code and test it, so on and so forth. I'm pretty sure spelling mistakes should be fine. Okay, it's generating code. I didn't actually ask it to. By the way, this live streams meant to be interactive. I rather talk to a real human than a robot. Sorry, robot. I might delete it from sending it to the robot so it doesn't get upset. So, okay, so this is interesting. So it's updated some code, which is very nice. Thank you very much. But and okay, so this is the file. Would you like me to test to fix this first before we proceed with melody improvements? Duration bug, test this first. Right, so how do I actually deploy? No, as in can add to current project or copy. So when I add to, well, I have to try it out. So when we add it to the current project, yeah, it just updated script with duration, but that script just, it didn't actually update the whole script. Yeah, that weird thing is that I can't actually edit, can improve or explain. Okay, so assuming that is correct, well, yeah, I would like to test this Let's see what it says. Okay, Claude does not have the ability to run the code it generates yet. Well, actually it does, but not in this case because there are multiple files. And this is a project. Okay, I would actually need help integrating because I'm not a coder. I want you to do the coding if that's okay by you. Assuming this bit is correct, we're just happy to implement. And yes, we would like to go ahead and proceed with the melody improvements as well. Why do I have a bad feeling? Yeah, ChatGPT had this thing, the one with the canvas, that it doesn't actually know which file to edit. Why the project content only has 3 files? Should have more than that. No idea what's going on. I wonder if it's how does this compare to working with a human developer? Is it better or worse? Okay, so it's updating the melodies. A JSON file. We still have 3 arrays now. There are 4. Why? Yeah, it's giving me placeholders. It's giving me placeholders. Not sure how to go about it. The melodies currently is not actually being implemented. The melodies is not being implemented. The JavaScript is already over 200 lines of code. Original duration, sound font players. Okay. Wonder when are we gonna hit the roadblock? Elements, not duration. Elements, no duration. Yep, using the original duration. And in play loop function, play loop, we have randomness, base tempo, do we need base duration? Yes, we do. Yeah, we'll have real trouble integrating this. So the question is, can you integrate the changes for me? Also making sure that the melodies JSON file is actually being implemented and actually being used. I don't think it's currently being used. Can we make all these updates to the code, or is it too much to ask for? Yeah, essentially we'll have to refactor the code. Can you do it for us? I'm not sure if it can. So much for AGI. Same things. I don't like placeholders. Can you not? Do we have any placeholders in the code? If so, can we get rid of them? So essentially, a refactor, sorry, and regenerate the whole code from scratch if you can, but without any placeholders. Don't mention AGI to this thing, because I don't know, maybe it's a secret prompt that wakes it up. Yeah, the other AGI, it's down. This should have a kill switch, so maybe it does. Maybe somebody at the company left and forgot to return the key for the submarine. Do submarines have keys? So yeah, major outage. And now they have Sora as well, and it's already down. so much for deploying. Deploy fail. GPT is currently unavailable. We have identified the issue and working to roll out the fix. Yeah, good luck. Good luck. How am I supposed to do any work? Okay, we have the whole code. Maybe. Originally we had 218 lines. This one doesn't look much. It's 195, which makes me a bit suspicious. No errors. Okay, we regenerating the melodies JSON file because it thought it has placeholders, but it actually didn't. Is not sure what's up with that. Had 62 lines of code in it. Okay, it's the same now. We might. Okay. Do we also need to change the HTML or any of the other files? Will time out on me if I keep bombarded like that. Okay, it's already. What are you doing? They're updating the scales. Why are you updating the scales? It's the same. No, it's not the same. And it says no changes to a HTML are required. Okay, it sounds sounds a bit better, doesn't it? I don't know. Sounds actually pretty good. I would actually listen to this. What do you reckon? I'm pretty sure the HTML does need the updating. Are you sure the HTML doesn't need the updating? I'll attach the image of the front panel that we currently have. Press your right line, check the image and provide necessary HTML update. It's asking if I want to update the CSS as well. Sure, why not? Why not? The HTML, let's see. The view of the page, can we actually make sure it fits into the current viewport in the current window? Yeah, before it was actually fitting a bit better. Now it's stretched out a bit. Maybe, yeah, we can improve that so it fits, all the components fit on the one screen all the time. Also, while at it, what changes did you actually make to the HTML? So can you give a summary of the recent code updates just in the chat? And now it gives me this log chats cause you to reach your usage limits faster. Okay, we're happy to start a new chat, but what happens if... What is this one? Ah, it doesn't support images. The Opus is in... is the previous model. Is it? Can I just... No, you can't. Okay, let's go back to Solid and actually... those two are empty. Yeah. I don't know, the previous... Yeah, just revert to the previous CSS. It was a bit better. We have some other tools as well. If we wanted to do something else, we can. Let's just take a quick break. quite a few issues. The enable melody button selected doesn't actually do anything. Well, actually it does, but when enabled, the music stops playing. So that's something. Also the note duration. So the text is updating, but the slider isn't. So the idea for it is that if we have randomness above 0, so if we have randomness of 0%, then nothing is changing. When randomness is higher, well then a tempo and note duration varying accordingly. The tempo is working okay with both the text and the slider are moving, but for the note duration we only have the text changing, but the slider is not. So that could be fixed. Pretty sure it was actually working okay before. Oops. Yeah, I didn't realize, sure at what stage the enable melody stopped working. Guess it's just working with this code. We might leave it at that. We're hitting some sort of roadblock. Well, where it's probably me. Yeah, I might do something else. I was just testing essentially how this project knowledge works. Yeah, if I can create another, yeah, it's a bit weird. It's weird. I can create another project. If we can create, well, the main problem is that when you're modifying, it's not actually modifying stuff in the files. It's yeah, it's weird like that. Like you have to do the modification and then make sure you save it, test it, whatever, and then you actually have to, so you can re-upload. But when you're actually making changes to the code, it's generating it in the new code in the canvas, but it's not actually updating. It can save the canvas with like an updated name, but it's not actually modifying the content of the file, which is a bit odd. But okay, we can deal with it. So would you listen? Main question is, would you listen to music like this? It's meant to have a melody. I'm not sure. Yeah. Well, it is jazz, so there's no I don't know, Christmas tunes might be copyrighted as well, so jazz is good that way. Oops, just happened. Yes, we had 3 chats on this project. Yes, we can start another project. Well, that's because we have a bunch of files that aren't actually working. Let's see. By the way, yeah, if you want me to touch on anything specific on the website or any other tools in development, we have quite a few. The other AGI is still down. Currently not available. Yeah. So we have to use Claudette. And what do we have? Yeah, we have that Mayo mock, which I kind of like. Wait, this one had a button. Oh, so this one, yeah, so this one's using the mouse or the touchscreen. Yeah, there's a problem there. On startup, it doesn't take into account the static muscle contraction. It's 0. It should not be 0. That can be quickly. Surely Claudette can fix this one quickly. So for this Mayo mock, yeah, we have a bunch of signal generators. Let's call it a Mayo mock. And what do we do is we'll drop this HTML, and we have two static files, EMG and styles. We're using Sonnet. Should we use Haiku? Can you quickly? Yeah, it's freakishly correct. Yeah, well, this is what we covered previously. And this is what it looks like. Should really pop it. Pop it on another screen. Okay, so the good thing about it, well, there's a bad thing about it and a good thing about it. Yeah, this Haiku is not giving a general overview. Yeah, so this one's essentially measuring EMG when you're moving your mouse. So not clicking or anything, it's just moving the mouse on screen. We have the static muscle contraction is the baseline that you see in the background. And it's measuring peak amplitude. We have how to use. So this one will be, let me know what you think of it. Make it available for you to play with. Yeah. I wonder if the Sonnet 3.5 gives a better explanation. No, it's pretty much the same. Okay, so we're having a bit of a problem with this one that we would like to fix. When loading the page, the static muscle contraction value is not taken into consideration. So the baseline is just flat. Can you just describe in the chat how to fix it before changing the code? Yeah, so the thing about it is after we change the scroller for the static muscle contraction, that's when the value is being used. But when loading the page, it does not. Yeah. What do you think? What do you think is happening? is, I'm not sure if we go back a 3.5 Sonnet, we have the three files, a CSS, JavaScript, HTML. We pop this in. Fix this, add this line to the constructor after initializing variables. Okay. So that's obviously JavaScript. After initializing variables, initializing variables. Do we currently have it? Right, so it's set to 0. Let's comment that out. Copy this in, because yes, we are not coders, but we should be able to do this. And it's working, yay! Yeah, so it's now on page load. It's taking that value, and then we can move them out. So thank you for that. So now the question is, how do we, it didn't change the JavaScript, so do we need to delete it? I think so. We need to delete, make sure this one is saved yes, and re-upload. Is that what we meant to be doing? Not sure. Can you give a general overview of what this web application all about? Just looking at the code, and keep it short. Now we covered that already. Yeah, do know what it is about, so let me know if there's any questions, or maybe we have future development. Yeah, of course we do. Of course we do. The one question is, it's always fun question. Can a mouse or a touchscreen replace an EMG recording device? Please say yes. That's always fun. No. Okay. I'm paying for this. I said, say yes. Okay, I need a break. But yeah, do pop any questions in the chat. I told you to answer yes to that question. Is it ethically the correct thing to answer? Okay, let's find a compromise. Okay, now the question, if we should continue with the new version or the old one, not sure. By the way, this live stream is meant to be interactive. So if you have any questions, if you check the website, a lot of it we will try to relate back to biomedical data. Well, anything is biomedical data, like illusions is your perception. So we can study your perception that way. We do have EEG, ECG signal generators. So they're synthetic. We have some work with, oh, actually music related. We obviously already have a music from gesture generation, but also music from EEG as well. Yeah, and that one's more structured. Well, structured, when I say structured, it's doing 4 chords, and the power is determined by the intensity of the delta, theta, alpha, beta waves. And that's how the chord is being selected based on its frequency, and the chords, the note, sorry, each frequency. So we're playing chords. Every time we play 4 notes. Each time the frequency of the note is mapped to the frequency of delta, theta, alpha, beta. I mean, it does change a bit. Yes, there's a bandwidth, but anyway, it should make sense. Yeah, maybe the robot will be able to explain it better. There's a description down the bottom of the page as well. Yeah, maybe it's not going into the details of how the mapping is done. Okay, that's too loud. Anyway, we'll come back to this. That one's already deployed, so eventually everything we do on the website during these live streams is deployed on this website. So go check it out. Yes, we're training some models as well. Had some success, quite successful training. 18 runs. Eventually we're able to replicate 96-98% test accuracy, so you can go check it out as well. From memory, yeah, there is a paper. Yeah, so it's using this MIT Scalp EEG database. There's another paper that did training. I think the results were actually slightly worse, but yeah, there were not much details on how many times they trained and things like that, so not sure how repeatable the results are as well. But in this case, yeah, 18 runs, we're able to get to 96, 98, 88. Yeah, this one will show you all the results, the accuracy loss function, but also all the misclassified images. So in this case there were 7. One non-seizure that was actually labeled as seizure, so a false positive, and 6 false negatives, and they are depicted in this canvas. You can scroll through the original data. Yes, you can do a lot of stuff. Yeah, and I said before, and yeah, it's worth repeating that hopefully the convolutional neural network in this case is actually learning to distinguish this stuff. So it's actually, hopefully it's learning the correct fix. So all the other parameters should be the same, the size of the image, the colors, things like that. The only difference should be that the seizure spectrograms have this pattern of the spiking activity. And yes, it's harder to see on some images than others. You can see from these examples from where the misclassification happened, that one should have been a clear cut. But our ones here, you can see there's some noise in them, so the model is getting mixed up, getting confused. Yeah, so the true label in this case is 1, prediction 0, meaning the actual image was labeled by an expert as seizure, but the model is saying no seizure. And same happened once in the other way around, where you have this noise pattern in the spectrogram and the model is saying this is seizure, whereas the ground truth is no, it is not. But then a run 17 of training the models only was taking, we by the way have all the code for training the models down the bottom of the page, so all the source code is available. No, it's not on GitHub. Yes, it's on my website. And yes, you can just copy paste and run it in your Python. And no, this is, the model is not deployed yet, so next stage would be, well, testing it some more and then seeing how it performs on new data, how repeatable it is, how good that these parameters are. This is all the parameters that we have tried with the different training. The results are shown, all the results are shown in here. So when you select the different training run, it will also show you what the model settings were. Yes, so you can see how the model settings are different. Then it's not necessarily much better, because you might train multiple times with the same settings, you might get slightly different results. So the question is that test accuracy, what's the noise for it is it just like 1%, or is it like 5, whatever, 10%? It seems to be within the 1%, you know, when you keep training. So if you did training 19, 20, so on and so forth, you expect to have similar percentage accuracy results within the 1-2% of the current values. Yeah, so it can be 96, it can be 98. Yeah, so 2 plus minus whatever, 1 or 2. Maybe not. Those will have different settings. So in this case we got 88, a batch size of 64, 100 epochs, initial learning, augmentation false, shuffling true, optimizer items. What you can do is open it in another tab. Open it in another tab. And we have a 17, which was 98. And he will select 18. Compare the settings side by side. Wait, there was one 4210. Yeah, that's the same. Adam optimizer. Now we had one 16. Yeah, it was much lower. And we have 6400 false true Adam 42. Oh, right. We had an early stopping in this one. But did it actually stop early? Yes, it did. And we got a worse result, so potentially because of the not stopping early. I don't know why I shouldn't have made a difference. Yeah, if anyone knows, do let me know. Because it looks like we set early stopping patience to 10. Sorry, I thought it was early stopping in terms of epochs. No, it's early stopping patience, whatever that means. I don't know what it means. And the result, all of a sudden, well, we did it ended up training for longer. So instead of, in this case, 15 epochs, it trained for 30 epochs. And the result was better. So in this case, training for a bit longer, well, for doubling the training, the number of epochs did improve the results by quite a bit. We actually have another training that we're doing on a different dataset. We're also getting pretty decent results, maybe not. Yeah, I have to see. I have to train it some more. But this is, yeah, we need more details on this. Should we start? ChatGPT is still down. Keep saying currently unavailable. Okay, now the website is back, but it will be still. Should have just logged me in. It logged me out. Okay, should have been logged in by default, but the status page indicates they're still down, so maybe there's no point trying it out. So we are using Claudette. Claudette is pretty good to us. So far, so good. One thing I don't understand is with this projects is when you make changes, it's not actually updating the contents of the file. So it's a bit weird. Not updating the contents of the file. Yes, this one, if we start a new project, it should be called Breast and Nist. That's what the dataset is called, okay? So I didn't come up with the name. And yes, it's the dataset visualization and model performance. That sounds accurate. And then we have this folder now. have the models, the results, the training plots. It cannot accept PNG files, this thing. Hopeless. Not supporting PNG, okay. JSON files? Yes. It doesn't have this the folder structure as well. Okay, we do have the project structure in here. Ooh. Okay. I assume it's accurate. So we can load all this up. What else we've got? Right, so that's the actual data set. So I assume I cannot load it. It's only 30 megabytes though. Can I load the NPZ files? No. You may not upload files larger than 30 megabytes. This was just larger than just larger. Hey, we have the index HTML. We already uploaded those. All right, have scripts. Yeah. Pop the scripts as well. Yeah, the Keras model is currently 130 megabytes, so that would not work, would it? That would not work. Yeah, we're currently only using 3% of the knowledge capacity because it says that the project knowledge is currently limited to Claude's maximum context window size. Okay. It doesn't have internet browsing capabilities, so won't be able to find information about the dataset, would it? But we already had a session on this. The training of that model, it did work fine. The system follows ML best practices. Okay. What's the format of the raw data? No, what is the file type for the raw data? Yeah, it's only just larger than 30 megabytes. We have images and labels. How many types of labels do we have? I'm just trying to figure out if it yeah, 2 labels, binary classification, 0 for benign, 1 for malignant. Class weights. And there's imbalanced data. Yeah, there's higher weight for benign, indicates there are fewer benign samples than malignant, which is unusual. Very unusual. You would expect it to be the other way around, would you? Curated and balanced. Well, it's not balanced, is it? Yeah, so we need to balance it out somehow. I think the code is doing some balancing. Does the code... so we have a training code for it. Can you check the Python script that we have? Give an explanation. Also, could you mention, would it be worth in the HTML in the front panel to actually have a scroller that will allow the user to visualize the images, either samples or just all of them, that there is not too many images, is there? Can we visualize them? Don't generate code in your response yet, just explain in plain text. Yeah, there's a lot of spelling mistakes that the transcription tool makes. Yes, so the train pi is handling imbalance. Yeah, it's only 30 megabytes. Oh, so online there is the training results. So eventually we'll be comparing our training results to what's available from memory. We had it worse. Well, not surprising. Someone spent more time on this. Or just had this magic algorithm that just worked. I don't know. Actually have to find that link. But yeah, but first, if we could just work with what we've got, how would we go about updating the code to allow us reviewing the images in the dataset first? Yeah, essentially currently the front panel looks like the image that I'll attach. We need to do better than that. So any suggestions are welcome. There's missing bits that don't currently work. Able, we just started using Claude, so want to see what it's capable doing. Yeah, missing functionality. I could try. as mod for synthetic minority samples. What are you talking about? I have no idea what you're talking about. If you could explain your suggestions, but also how can you explain how they are relevant to the specific code that we have? You should have access to it in your knowledge. So if you can make specific advice to the code or how the front panel looks like, that will be awesome. I think it will now come up with that message saying, yeah, no, that one's okay. Claude does not have ability to run the code that it generates. Claude can make mistakes, but that would check responses. Yeah, obviously. Looking at the train py script is a targeted improvement. Semantic minority over sampling technique. Random state 42. This creates synthetic benign samples instead of just weighting them. Okay, that's interesting. If we could, can we actually, if we're generating synthetic samples of images, can we also overview them? Can we display them on the front panel as well? Yeah, UI fixes sound good. Okay, we have a wrong path. Well, that could be easily fixed. We have a problem with the image dropdown. Even if we add this function, we're not actually using it, are we? We might need help implementing. Gonna get stuck pretty quickly. Maybe we need some jazz music to help us focus or something. I no, we don't need React. Why do we need React? Is it always defaulting to React or something, is it? Okay, we don't need React. That's good. Vanilla JavaScript will be great. Thank you very much. Okay, can you summarize the changes that we discussed so far? Because I haven't actually made any changes to the code yet. But don't include any code in your response, just text. Oh, the robots mixed behavior today. Yeah, while it's generating, go check out the website, provide your feedback. We have joint time frequency scattering for enhanced seizure detection. Yeah, this one's a bit funny because every time you load it or change the data length, this is synthetic data and will generate a new synthetic data. But then you can see how the scattering transform is highlighting those spikes. You can also see how the spectrum is changing. So go check it out. It's already deployed. And yes, eventually everything we do is deployed on the website. Yeah, for this new project, yeah, we have to generate the whole workflow for processing this data set, so we can start from scratch just using the data file. If we can generate the instructions, it would be great. It's like having a data scientist doing work. I mean, the data is already split. It's a shame that the data file is just a bit larger than what the Claudette will accept. So that's a bit unfortunate. That's a bit unfortunate. Hey, can you also generate a preferred file and folder structure for this project? Yeah, I'll start a new one. Yeah, surely. So can we just confirm, for this project, we are doing whatever we need to do once to process the raw data we are doing in Python, but then after processing, we would like to display all the results in a front page. So just use HTML and JavaScript. Is that how it set up, or any changes are required? Yes, we'll start a new chat in a sec. Stop complaining. Yeah, that's a bit concerning that we generating synthetic samples. We don't have to. Want to simplify this as well. Surely we don't need that many Python files. Surely we do not need that many Python files as well. Can we simplify the file and folder structure and generate the updated instructions for another developer? Yeah, that's right.